Nicholas Ray's They Live by Night, his first film, and a gem, a revelation to me this time around. It's one of the great love stories in Hollywood cinema, I think.
They Live by Night is one of the earliest fugitive couple films. It deals with a young teenage couple who are part of a gang of thieves. But mainly it centers on the couple itself, their growing love, and their attempt to break from the injustice and corruption of the world around them.
They Live by Night starts out with a jailbreak, a very young man and a couple of older convicts, and basically the movie turns on his chance encounter with a young woman.
You having trouble?
Could be.
They meet, they're absolutely innocent young country bumpkin types, and they fall in love, but they can't go off together because Bowie is coerced by his friends into participating in bank robberies.
You're traveling with real people.
Takes three to charge a bank, and we're the three mosquitoes.
Things go from bad to worse when the police identify Bowie as the leader of the gang when he's really just the driver.
The leader, Bowie the Kid Bowers, fast trigger killer, has so far...
The book Thieves Like Us was given by producer John Houseman to Nicholas Ray. They knew each other from the theater, and it looked like a good project for Nicholas Ray.
Ray has this lyrical intensity that runs all through his career, and here you see it in the treatment of the two lovers.
Nicholas Ray did something very unusual for a film noir. He gave it a romantic sheen.
Nick Ray is a loopy guy, and he makes loopy films, and that's why the French love him. But Nick Ray, it was never the storyteller. Narrative-wise, he wanders off into a love story.
I'll go with you, if you want.
Obviously, he's best known for his work with James Dean in Rebel Without a Cause, but there are parts of that character in pretty much every protagonist in every Nick Ray movie, including Bowie in They Live by Night.
So it was a theme that was important to Nicholas Ray. They Live by Night was on the cusp of change at RKO. RKO was taken over by Howard Hughes in '48.
Howard Hughes had this terrible habit of never releasing movies. He'd shoot a movie, or he'd have someone make a movie, and then he'd put it on the shelf while he decided to totally reshoot it or rethink it.
He's mainly interested in the actresses in the films like Jane Russell or Faith Dommer. And he also was really not concerned with anything other than their appearance in the films.
They Live by Night was actually filmed before Howard Hughes bought the studio, but he stopped its release and held it up for 2 full years, even though he didn't change it very much. They Live by Night is possibly the first movie about teens on the run, about teenage problems, which was considered Nicholas Ray's forte 8 years later when he did Rebel Without a Cause.
What really distinguishes Nick Ray is his ability to take performers and capture that ragged, distraught subtext in so many noir characterizations.
And this kind of alienation is key to the rest of Nicholas Ray's best movies. His main characters are always outsiders, they're always loners. Both Farley Granger and Kathy O'Donnell were contract players for Sam Goldwyn, loaned out to RKO. And they were absolutely perfect for the needs of Nicholas Ray on his first movie.
They projected the innocence that was necessary for the audience to sympathize with these people who, in fact, were involved with criminal activities to some degree.
Farley Granger is a handsome dude. He's an interesting actor, but never achieved what he should have been, which is he could have been James Dean.
He's been in prisons, and he's a teenager, and he's never talked to a girl before, and she's lived this strange life with her father and never talked to a boy. So gradually, they learn through each other. It's learning to love each other is something that transforms them both.
There's a real intimacy and what's called an amour fou, a mad love between them, which defies society.
Farley Granger has never been better, I think.
Nicholas Ray used his helicopter shots to introduce a feeling of a God's eye point of view.
It creates a sort of tension because it also creates a wind within the scene itself.
In noir, you're always thinking there's other people looking in. You know, there's the great eye, so to speak.
You know it's coming from a helicopter, but at the same time it seems like it might be some sort of metaphysical wind that's pushing these characters along. It's an innovative use of technique which was not heavily utilized at that point.
They Live by Night inverts most of your carefree romantic cliches about couples out in the country. Bowie and Keechie are in this incredibly depressing situation. They have no friends, they can't trust anybody, especially their relatives.
That boy belongs to the electric chair. That's where I'd like to see him.
When they make contact with other criminals, they're considered amateurs and told to go away.
You're leaving town tonight. Nothing against you, you understand? We don't want a lot of
trigger-happy hillbillies around here.
I personally like They Live by Night because it sort of transcends the pessimism of a lot of the rest of film noir.
The concept of blighted destiny, and the concept that love, if it exists at all, would be fugitive, and the standard bad ending, the betrayal.
Keechie and Boy are doomed, but somehow it's a beautiful story anyway.
What should be a tragedy is in some ways a triumph, a redemption.
What's really remarkable, I think, about They Live by Night as a picture made right after the war is the fact that although its consequences are everywhere apparent, where the filmmakers are looking is towards the future.
You listen to me. You're a thief, just like me. And you ain't gonna go yell on us.